everybody. Welcome to this meeting of Barnsley Town Council's General Purposes Committee. Apologies for the late start, and we'll get right to business. Jo, can I ask, have we got any apologies for absence?
Yeah, Marjorie Adams, George Louise and Angela Morale.
Thank you very much. We have an item for open forum. If anybody watching the live stream wants to put any questions in the chat, and we'll come back to that at the end of the meeting. Item 3, declarations of interest. And this is where, if any councillors have a prejudicial pecuniary interest, in other words, a financial interest in any items, say now or forever hold your peace. Item 4, minutes of the last meeting, held on the 14th of August.
Nothing extra on that.
Yeah, well, this is just a question of accuracy, isn't it? So, would somebody move those as a regular cover? Thank you very much. Environmental schemes and town centre planting, and I mean this is a general item, but when Joe was putting the agenda together, this is a little list of the regular planting schemes that we do. So, first of all, hanging baskets. We've had, we had a contract with Gladstone Gardens many moons ago, and the town council has resolved to stick with them because satisfied with the quality and so on and so on and so on. There has been a change of owner last year, and the baskets for this summer were produced under the new ownership. Joe, as somebody quite familiar with the baskets, are you content with the good quality?
The only issue has been the weather. They got battered by that storm, which took all them big red ones out. The only ones that survived that were hanging with a bus stops, but they can't hold that.
Okay. And price-wise, was there any change in price?
No, absolutely not.
Okay. So it would be my suggestion that we recommend to the full council that we stick with Gladstone Gardens. We could go out to tender when the town council did that, quite a few number of years ago. It was a bit hit and miss as to what you got, and quite frankly, at times they were poor. So, I think the justification is that they produce good baskets suited to our circumstances.
I agree. I think until there's a time that causes any concern, price increase or quality, then should we do it and recommend that to full council?
Yeah, okay. We do have some areas that we do winter planting in, and just to go through those, there's a couple of tree pits on Fernley Avenue, and there's the Bill and Ben, the tiered planters, and there's the Forester's Bed, all of which done with winter planting to some extent, although the Forester's Bed, I think there's some perennials in there, so it would be done in part. Are we wanting to maintain those as they've been in previous years?
Yeah, for that.
Yeah, okay, and again, with Gladstone Gardens. There's mention of the concrete rings, the rings of power. These are the
Skipton Road,
near Gilmeadows. and the rings from when they put the new culvert in. Now they're not the actual culvert section. It'd be a very big culvert. The rings. Yeah, I know. Well,
The catch pit rings.
Sorry, what the
They've got catch pit.
catch pit rings? Technical term.
Also known as a manhole.
The manhole, yeah, the manhole rings. With those, I asked the Bloom Group, and they said that, and I have to get another piece of paper out of my bag, but it's around the edges. No, I don't want a piece of paper.
You don't want one,
No, I've got a piece of paper in my bag that gives me the name of the plant, but there's some purple bits in the middle.
The beer.
No.
Wait.
Oh, come on.
Grumses.
No more guesses.
Oh, mate, hang on.
Lilies. No,
Verbena. You get the prize.
Right.
You get the prize. Right.
Some purple flowers.
Right. So the verbena in the middle is they're perennials. So it's just planting around the edges. So we're happy for that. And then we've got the front two beds in the town square, where again I checked with the Bloom Group, some of whom thought they dug all the bulbs out, but the majority view was they weren't dug out. They were dug out last year in advance of us doing those concrete piles. But I think it was replanted after that, and they're still there.
What we're doing about it?
We don't need to do anything apart from if Gledstone Gardens have to do the weeding, there'll be an additional charge.
Well, we put it on our list.
You've got it on. Yeah, okay.
It's a very big list.
Yeah. So we don't need to do anything apart from organise a bit of weeding in there. So that's the stuff that specifically we need to deal with. The other ones that we've got on is the hedge planting down at Victory Park. And I think, Joe, you ordered that hedging. Have we any idea when that's due to come?
No, you asked me for it to come. When did you ask me for it to come?
I don't think I get it.
Right, okay. Do you want to check whether I do?
It's whatever the field shop says the people to put them in.
Well, I think it sits on, it's chicken and egg. We need to go to Philtrox with a date or, but
Any time from now is.
no, it's a bit early yet. Trees need to be dormant. And I think you're probably looking after the end of October. Trouble is in November we get
When the good weather comes.
Weather comes, yeah. Better weather.
Well, colder weather. Trees are dormant
Colder.
in November. Yeah. Yeah.
It's freezing, isn't it?
Okay. So, are there any other environmental schemes that we want to be pursuing? Alan?
Can I just ask about the tree over here in front of the flagpole? It's taking a bit of a lean to it, it's broadening out quite a bit, kind of big. I don't know what do you call it when it gets shaped like that?
Wow.
Because if it carries on to grow and broad out like that, it seems a waste of time to put the flagpole there, because it's near enough covering it now unless you're coming up the road or down the road. If you stand outside this building, you can't see it.
Could be
Yeah.
coppiced.
I used to look out the window.
I don't know how well birch do it being coppiced.
I think we need to take advice on that. And it's Pendle Council's tree. It's actually a memorial tree for former of the late Councillor Mary Norcross. So,
Do we have to check Keith?
pardon?
Keith?
Yeah, Keith Hickson.
I'll come back.
Yeah. So I don't know whether it can be pruned to accommodate the flag. But it has, the tree's done really well there.
Just in the past couple of years, it's
Shot up.
It has shot up because when it started, it was maybe only halfway down the flagpole, and now it's
Yeah,
it's taller than kind of thing.
It's
yeah.
probably on spot, isn't it?
What the tree or a flagpole?
Both. I don't know.
Easier to do flagpoles than
Let's not get moved it once in
But it could be a bit like Gormless, where Gormless has moved from place to place to place to place. The flagpole could move from place to place to place to place. What do you mean, bring the flagpole to this side of the...
You can still see the flag from the side, it's just not from the opposite side of the road.
Yeah, but the flag's actually now tangling in the branches.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. Look, you can just see it from here. You'll be able to see the tree, not the flag.
Yeah, I've got some.
We're on to the yeah.
Right, I'll check these tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, the Blue Group are organising a visit with Keith to walk around and look at the various things, so we could tag on to that. Speaking of which, the birch trees that haven't thrived are the ones down at the bottom of the green, which the ones that haven't died just bent at a 90-degree angle. So
Beach, did you say?
no, birch. Yeah. For some reason, I mean, there was a dry spell immediately after they were planted, which won't have helped. And I think that accounts for the ones that have died, but the ones that have bent double.
I know with beech that there's only 10% survive that you plant, but I don't know if it's the same.
We've done really well with
The
beech.
beech,
Sorry,
have you?
I'm going to get people kicking me under the table and going up on there. But beech trees, if you looked out of here, there's two that were planted 2012, 2013, something like that, in a snowstorm. And they've really taken off now, the two
What's the
copper
ones
beech.
that are swallowing the hanging baskets down the bottom there?
They're hazels, and they need coppicing.
You can have them
The
back.
hazel birch trees or hazel beech trees.
Sorry.
And then we have some problem trees down there. That need chopping, yeah.
Down there, what do you mean?
In that little, that bin area at bottom of Hill Street.
Oh, right. Well, that's a beech hedge that's been allowed to get out of hand.
Programme that wasn't ours, I was going to say.
Yeah,
Which is now ours, so it's
Yeah.
now our problem.
yeah. So, Gillian, all the beech trees that
There's one
have been planted, because we did a hedge down here and they thrived as well, and they need controlling. Else, they just get out of hand, and you know, before you know it, they're obscuring the flagpoles.
And hazels obscuring the hanging baskets.
Tell the hazel sort of trees are
Okay. Then I'm going to raise it on this item because it's sort of vaguely environmental.
Making it up.
No, it's the play area damage that we had,
Oh,
where unfortunately a group of, I'm going to say the youth, because they were observed to be hanging around when the approximate time when the damage occurred. So
taking a trip to Civic as well.
You could just say missed
Okay.
once.
yeah.
It's last name missed.
Right. Anyway, the safety surfing down at Victory Park, some of it was damaged. Joe got some prices. Pendle Council got some prices. The only company that could do it at the drop of a hat were in excess of £2,000. I was contacted by Carl Pickles, and he has a company, specialist,
Resin,
no,
Spectra.
special.
specialist,
Services or something
yes,
like that.
Spectra Surfacing Specialist, that's it, limited. And they've got a unit at the bottom of Croness Road, just by the pedestrian entrance to Victory Park. He was coming off a job and said he could do it free of charge on the Friday, which was almost as quick as the £2,000 quote. So, in consultation with Joe, we bit his hand off and thanked him very much. He did the job last Friday and made a good job of it. And besides nominating him for a Pride of Balmoral Award, we did think that it would be appropriate for us to offer the cost of materials. So, it was devoting his time, but
The only thought was one area, so David's picture didn't show the stuff that had been done on the Monday daytime.
yeah, there were two pieces of equipment where it had been pulled out. So, what does the committee think about offering to pay for the materials involved?
Yes, it's fine. It's not a problem whatsoever, isn't it?
Two in excess of £2 cost.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Are you going to contact him?
I will do. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean,
I've not spoken to him.
no. The other thing that may be of interest is one of the specialist services that it puts down. I've forgotten the name of it now, but it's a surface that has both stone and I think rubber crumb in it, and I don't know whether it's a resin based or a bitumen based surface. I can work out what it's called, somebody can look it up. But do you remember a year or so ago we said we'd look at surfacing the path that comes down from Westfield entrance
Yeah.
into that. And it may be that that is a suitable
What do they call them? Spectrum. See what I can find. It's a
right.
resin, isn't it, they use?
Flexipave. So, this FlexiPay process has been used by quite a lot of councils elsewhere in the country, by the Canal Rivers Trust for doing tours. I just wonder whether it's worth seeing if that stacks up. I don't know whether Tom's in a position to evaluate it.
It's environmental friendly as well.
Is it? Very good one. That's it. They'd say that anyway.
If you ignore the resin, it tastes good.
So, the resurfacing that path was one of the approved environmental schemes.
People were meant to give us a scheme, weren't they?
Yeah. But I think we were trying to get them to do that without it costing us all.
Yeah. And then someone went off sick and then it just didn't happen. Not all, them.
No. So I'm not suggesting that we just go ahead with it, but I think if we check it out and it looks, if we try it out and it's a good thing to do, we could look at using it elsewhere. If it's a benefit. And then finally, the last thing I've got anyway is when I went down to the park, I'm looking for a picture now, there's a big pothole on the driveway, on the approach to the play area, which we need to sort out. There's a little bit of a pot appearing next to a previous repair, that we carried out last year, or earlier this year, I can't remember which, last year. But within Victory Park, I'm not aware that there's any other pots, but we need to sort them out. So I think we can ask Joe to deal with that. And there's an outstanding repair in the footpath up at Letcliffe Park, down at the bottom gate, back gate. So we could maybe, it's hardly a big job, but put them two together to make it half a day, something like that. So we get prices off as our usual suspects. Is that okay? Yeah? Right. So any other environmental schemes from anybody else? Or planting projects? No? Okay. Moving on then. Events programme, and there's some questions that Joe's got in terms of the detail of events that we've got in the programme. Before we get into that, you recall Nat from Max and Taps was looked up, and we gave approval to do put the Marquee Earl in for him to do an Oktoberfest. He has applied for a temporary event notice, a licence to do that. However, when I last spoke to him, one of his members of staff have had a bereavement, and I think Matt was relying on the member of staff, picking up a lot of the regular work so that we could do the organisation for this Oktoberfest. Spoke to him weekend gone, and he said a bit like that as to whether they could go ahead with it or not. So a bit of uncertainty around that. But they were applying for the licence so that they could do it if they wanted to. I think that's just for noting, really. Okay, so events for this year, Joe, did you have some questions about the switch on event and the nature or the trail?
Oh, yeah. Nature of it or whether we do it.
Yeah, or if there was an alternative.
Yeah, so we do the same thing similar every year, don't we? We're just wondering, last year the trail was quite a lot of work, and because, I don't know if it was the time of day, as we do it in the morning, like 10 till 12, or if it was just the weather that put people off. It's like I said, we spent hours making all these bags up for it, and we made hundreds. And ended up with loads left over. Now all the chocolate got used for Christmas, so it's not going to be gut away as such. But it's whether or not is it worthwhile doing. And only people who go to it will know that.
Okay. The reason why we do a trail with most of the events is so that we get people to visit other streets than just the town square. So it's a way of getting to go on Church Street and go past the shops on Church Street, a way to get up on Raynor Road and the like. And then the other plus point is the timing was intended to sort of make it a bit of a longer day, so that the shopkeepers, the businesses, the traders who come to the market have more footfall throughout the day, rather than 6,000 people for 2 hours at tea time and not a lot of people in the morning and things like that. So those are the plus points of doing something whether it's a trail or not, question, but, you know, last year it wasn't successful. Well, you can,
There were still
200.
150, I think, did it, so there were quite a number of children did it,
Yeah.
but it wasn't like this. The weather was like, it's whether
Yeah.
I was just taking a bit of, I feel like we have like a lot of work for 100, even though 150
Yeah.
is
I mean,
Is the
150.
flag still there?
No,
No, dismantled
they'll
all.
wait.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah. So 150 children would have been perhaps, you know, 400 or thereabouts, you know, including parents and folk going round.
I think it's because we're used to like the 300-400 numbers that it was a bit last year, like, do we need to change something? Could we do something different that would be more interesting to people? Now the timing was, so it was before the grottos started, so like 10 till 12, and then grottos started at 12 till 4:30,
Yeah.
is it? So it was like to try and, so there was something to do throughout the day, but
What did feedback from the ones that did it? You know, yeah.
they all had little ankles on, they looked happy, you know, white chocolate, but
Did you do it, Callum?
Yeah, it was good. I think we come a bit late, but yeah, it was quite good. But maybe do it similar to the wizarding one, where obviously you make your way around and then it just staggers people into the grotto rather than a big queue. I don't know how that'd work, but obviously we got. Well, I know it's trying to work anything out, but obviously when we finished the wizard thing, it was just a gentle trickle into our photographer over here. And there wasn't a great deal of waiting.
so do you think it changed the timing of it?
Possibly, and like, so obviously once you set people off, they have to go around AB's X, Y, Z, then they get to grotto, and then obviously only for a certain time, and then obviously at a certain time you say the grotto's just come themselves out.
Yeah, I mean, I think there's going to be a queue for
It's got to be a
grotto,
good way, but if we could
whatever.
reduce that,
I thought it was like grottos as well.
trying to queue for like X amount of time with small children is chaos.
Yeah, I don't think, I mean, no matter what we do in terms of the grotto, folk will always rock up. And people who were doing the trail, you know, were sort of like specifically timing it so they could land at the grotto at opening time. And I mean, there was there was a queue all the time through till it closed, because, you know.
It gives the people who are still queuing and getting, there has to be a lot of time.
Yeah. And I mean, on the grotto, I think we got the gifts.
Yeah,
Bob on, didn't we?
Yeah. So the other thing with the grotto is, I've been asked by, you know how during the beach we did some special SEN sessions, I've been asked whether or not for half an hour before the official grotto starts,
You could do
whether
it
we could do like a quiet one where for maybe 30 minutes, where, because there is a liaison person, God knows that I speak to, is great to work with, and she said that they could manage the who, if you will. So, because they said that like their children struggle with the queues, so in effect they miss out, which is, you know, quite a valid point, isn't it? We're trying to make everything inclusive.
Yeah. We have done it previously where there's been a quiet session, and you know, you do other things such as have the lighting higher, although I can't remember how we manage that. And of course, we'd have to ask Santa if he could come early.
I think what
Have you got a comment there, Chris?
Right?
Are you commenting on that?
No, I was thinking about it. Yes, of course I will.
Yeah.
Why, you can have Santa for the kiddies watching.
Yes.
Of course.
They should be fed.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to include
If you did that, I think you'd need to offset it early enough to have an air gap in between as well. Just
Yeah.
because people, I mean, they queue up half an hour early.
Well, the alternative is they're offered a different entrance to the building. isn't it? If we advertise that. No, put it that way.
I'm just wondering about that.
Yeah. But we are pushing out on switch on morning to be all, you know, ready, even though all the lantern stuff's here already.
I think in terms of the grotto, I think everything was set up.
We usually get set up right before the switch in the morning.
I think
Yeah.
we were well on top of it. So
Right, okay.
it's no problem from that point of view. I think, you know, the issue would be, you know, having the elves.
Yeah, no, that's no problem.
And it may be that you don't actually want elves because they might be
Detrimental.
unfamiliar, but there again, you know, Santa in his suit with his white beard and everything else might be unusual.
So do you do it between like 11 and 11:30 and then start the general one at 12?
That
And
would
then
be my suggestion.
there's a very
Yeah.
decent gap, and then whoever is outside is asking the question whether you're there or they get tickets, and then it's
I think we could do, you know, if it's sufficiently removed, we could use the entrance in the yard and then the regular business entrance for the main queue, which wouldn't start to form until after 11:30 anyway.
right, that's fine, so 11 to 11:30.
What
Yeah.
sort of numbers are we talking about?
I don't think it's normal. In almost the beach, they were getting about 15 children. But then obviously that depended on whether that time suited like working families or whatever, I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Saturday it might be different, there might be 30 children, might they, I don't know.
If they are going to find, and I don't know what these kids' specific needs are, if there's not a large number, but there's a chance that they could get freaked out by
Yeah,
in Little Grotto, could Santa meet them all at once
possibly.
in a larger space
Yeah,
and say hello to them?
Might be horses for courses, and we ask the families involved what's most appropriate.
Yeah.
I mean, when we've done cinema sessions for SN children, you know, we've had the lights on at low, but you know it's not complete darkness. So there's different things you can do to, but it's different things for different children.
Yeah.
And you know, during the main event, we have music playing in the grotto. You know, maybe that's inappropriate, and you know, a quieter environment would be better.
But if we have a relatively small number, we can tailor it with any options, can't we?
yeah. Which would be lovely, wouldn't it, really?
And
It would be lovely.
and if we've got a bit of I can't remember the gap that Tom referred to. There's a bit of comfort in terms of if we overrun, you know, if it's 3/4 an hour instead of half an hour,
Yeah, it doesn't matter,
you,
so
you know, we're not eating in.
you're not getting lynched by people who
Yeah.
queuing for moons.
Yeah. Okay. Can I go back to how we get people around the wider town centre?
I mean, there is always the option of taking last year's on the chain and playing it up to the weather.
Yeah. I thought of themes already. I thought we could have a Elf on the Shelf theme, give it to 12 different shops and they come up with their own display, and then they've got to write what the thing is, and got some, because it doesn't have to be there, it could be December, some elf naughty or nice sweets for the milk, it's got some special. So we could use that, so that might work. We could, the little ones could have reindeer things again. I don't think it's appropriate to do something where they're collecting something at every station, because it was a little bit of a logistical nightmare. Because you've got to cater for 300-400 kids. But the budget's like spread amongst the whole event, isn't it? It's not like the Harry Potter one where that in February that will be the event, we'll be collecting all the items.
You don't
Wizards.
mean wizards.
Wizards,
you mean
sorry, not
wizards.
Harry Potter.
No, he that shall not be named.
Warner Brothers were lying.
Yeah. They probably monitor,
He's a local.
they probably have a AI that detects any mention of it, he should within, yeah.
I've known people caught out by sneaking brands, so that's nearer than you might imagine.
Yeah.
Okay, right, come on, committee members, what do you think?
I agree with
For the trail, I think the big thing is, you guys drive it, you do the work. Is there something that you've got as in you guys, you and your team, however many it may be?
What means that?
Yeah.
I mean, we think the elf thing would work, but we were working on it for the Christmas one.
thing.
So the Christmas one, we're a little bit conscious that on Sunday there's a Santa fun run and there's lots of entertainment over the weekend, but there isn't like a draw, like a grotto or something. So we wanted to try and make the trail a bit more interesting, so that it might be something that families then came to, because we ultimately wanted to be busy, don't we? We don't want it to fall in its ball. So that's what we were working on for that, and then we started talking about switch on, and I'm like, ooh, yeah, we need to really think about that. Now I'm quite hopeful that Walker Foster once again will offer their staff.
Do a trail or something a bit simpler, so they don't have to go into the shop. Something in the
So
window.
like if it was an elephant shelving
Something
or
in the window,
something.
hide something in there, like,
Well,
you know, a letter or something, and by the end of it, you've gone to, and all these letters are
Yeah.
jumbled up, and you've got to go, what's that?
Yeah.
You don't work out what's Christmas or maybe.
Traditionally, we've done that. There
They're the
are,
easiest to do.
there are some shops or some businesses that actually prefer people to come inside, but they are balanced by the businesses or shops that don't want them to come inside. And what we started doing last year, we started using service businesses, so financial service, estate agents, solicitors, because they weren't bothered, they don't have
So they
regular
nails them.
customers coming in who might be put off if there's a queue to do stuff. But
Loads are amazing, but like Sally Harrison's great, the financial advisors are. Someone else said they were really keen to get involved, now I can't remember, it's somewhere down that way.
the old mariner.
Yeah, he said he'd be interested in getting involved, but they're all sort of together, aren't they?
Yeah, but it's end of Church Street, so it's it's good in terms of
Whichever one does it.
the.
Or do you take one for that and then another one for the January or February one or whatever?
I think if
share
there's
it
something
out.
on the window, there's still an opportunity for them to want to go in the shop anyway.
Yeah.
I think if you ask the shops to put something in the window, they can decide whether or not it drags them in.
Yeah.
So give them
Got a
the
special offer next to it.
give them the option, say, they can sort of word it to effects of, well done, you've found most of it, come inside to find the rest sort of thing, and leave it up to them.
Yeah. Yeah.
It gives them the option.
I think doing the trail's good, but obviously the logistics now.
Yeah, right, that's fine. Are we changing the time of it, or are you... So the only reason it was the time it was, and the other issue was that the member of staff at Walker Foster, who gives the time for free, that bit of it, also works at Hub Bar. Person.
Yeah, so if we're running the bar, which we will be doing,
Not the time.
we don't want to be. I mean,
to coincide with this SES.
Walker Foster give their staff for free, but one of them's my Rebecca.
I think what Tom says, it's difficult to give it any sort of real gauge, given that it rained last year. And,
Yeah, yeah, let's give it another go.
if it's a nice crisp dry day, it might be a massive success, and then at least we know what.
Yeah.
But try and make it, like I said, come up with the idea, and try and make it a little bit easier for in terms of organising it, so
Yeah, right, that's fine.
something to the kitchen.
yeah.
Yeah, brilliant. Thank you.
Otherwise, I don't think we've got any changes with switch on. It's the tried and trusted formula. Is everybody content with that?
Yeah.
To do anything for that?
Anyone wants any batteries and any lights? We've got them in it.
Well,
Straight to Monday.
Yeah.
I was going to say that there are some people, including Mandy, who are quite happy to come in here
Yeah.
and
When it is back on.
tinker away. Yeah, when it is back on. Okay, so that's that switch on. the two-day Christmas market, I don't think there's anything that we need to discuss. January, the ice trail, we've still got to have a theme. Now, obviously, wizards were very popular last year, but if we're going to do a wizarding event in February instead of the arts and crafts, we don't want to be doubling up on
How many
wizards.
years have we done it now?
Which one?
Yeah, I suppose it's 2 years when we did it with the sculptures.
No.
Is this the third?
I think it's this will be the fourth.
So what have we done? Lottery.
Ice and Fire.
Ice and Fire, which was Game of Thrones.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings, because there was Gandalf.
The Wizarding World of Harry Potter.
Harry Potter.
Barry Alter.
The Lord of the Rings, Game of
Trying
Thrones,
to think
Harry
of all the
Potter.
big franchises that
What wizards?
Yeah,
Wizards.
yeah, Barry Potter.
Yeah. The suggestion that we were kicking about last year
That's, yeah.
was a Roald Dahl theme. Roald Dahl, strong. I mean, you can narrow it
You've
down.
done the likes of Lord of the Rings, Harry Potter, Game of Thrones, like Tom says, Star Wars, was good there. Yeah, Star Wars was good there.
But how would you rename it?
I don't know.
Well, can't you mean we can't use Star Wars?
Battlestar Galactica. No, that's
No, that is. I think I might be rapid.
In a town far, far away.
Barlick Star Galactica.
Yeah, in a town far, far away.
Does that universe have the cachet, you know? And I mean, it's families, but I mean, some people come for the ice sculptures, you know, the art.
It's as big as Lord of the Rings.
Pardon?
It's as big as Lord of the Rings. It's not bigger.
I would do Willy Wonka, but after the Glasgow incident, I didn't.
No. Oh, no, hey, we could be doing deliberately. We
What,
could,
we really
we could
now?
say, you know, you've seen the rest, now see the best.
Oh.
But we've had 3 fantasy themed, so maybe a sci-fi would be.
Well, it's something like wildlife or something like that.
Well, right.
Yeah, that's
Badgers.
I don't like
Yeah,
that.
like, you've gone for like
Him too.
big series, big franchises. You want to go for one of the big hit like movie franchises. Something that will draw, oh, let's have a look at this and that.
What's the big hit with the kids?
Avengers,
Olivia Bingo.
That sort of stuff.
Marvel Cinematic Universe,
Superheroes.
superheroes. Just call it superheroes and whatever the theme thing is.
Come up with his own.
You what?
Come up with our own.
But what around with his pants over his pants?
Wonder Woman job.
Yeah. I'm not sure.
Superheroes is just
Two
a
bubble, bubble,
generic
bubble.
idea.
That's a good shout
You
though.
could have local in there. You could have lots of people.
Cracking would be quite nice.
Marvel or DC.
Marvel would be good.
Yeah, but we'd probably have to call it Marvel or something like that.
I
Motherverse.
doubt it.
That French twist of
I
it.
think Warner Bros. Are the only people that I really like.
Let's call it Marvel the Ice. That's play on words.
Play on words. I like it.
I prefer Ice Wars myself.
You find
Ice
Wars.
Ice Wars. Star Wars Ice Wars.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean, there isn't
It's
any
very.
big rush.
It isn't like you could put a pair of glasses on an advert, round glasses, and people guess, is it though? Because
Yeah.
unless you just put like a really big hairy.
Well, but we could have light sabers.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. That's what they could make.
Yeah. Get some torches and some tubes and
Different size tubes and I
Yeah.
think them all at once.
Are we coalescing around Ice Wars?
Ice Wars.
Ice Wars.
Right, we'll talk to the ICE people
Yeah.
and see if they can put that through. AKA Star Wars.
No,
S-Wars.
So what are they asked to do? I mean, there might be some ideas for the afterwards.
Should we see what they're doing? They go to like York. Just look at that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just go and do a recce.
Yeah. Look at it there.
It comes after,
Sarah.
York's afterwards.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Well, okay.
Good for the year after.
I mean,
The really
because they're artists, they quite like doing fresh things. So we've had, some unique stuff, but obviously they also repeat themselves because they've done hundreds, if not thousands, of different sculptures. So what was the new thing that they did? Was it the snitch? What was the one
I
that?
think they've done one before.
What was the one that was around?
I didn't see
Did
that.
you have the cases, is it? Which one of the
The
cases?
snitch was at the Renault Centre.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, well, I think that was.
Is it a train?
No, that's a regular one. It was whatever it was. I think.
Yeah, the snitch, it had casing. Guess how many cases were in the
Yeah.
sculpture? Which became easy once it started melting.
I don't think anybody guessed it.
No, that was it.
Yes. Anyway, I mean, they will have some suggestions because inevitably they've done it before. But there might be, what's the Falcon,
Millennium Falcon.
the Millennium Falcon? They could do that one.
Or the Death Star.
R2D2.
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 Yeah.
Grogu.
Chewbacca.
I'll get you the details. I just found it and remembered there's the Stormtroopers are a charity group that support firefighters charity, and they sort of attended quite a few of his car washes and stuff like that.
Is that the
Yeah,
mountain
yeah.
one that one on X
The white ones. And
Oh, can you imagine how good they're doing?
I'll get them to dance as well.
Yeah.
Alan Callum,
Dancing Stormtroopers, the wrong Britain's Got Talent a few years ago.
Talented Stormtrooper.
Yeah, the group who dresses up and does breakdancing and stuff.
I have to
like
say, dressing up as a character is probably a better experience than you all think. I had a well good time.
that. It's nothing to it,
That's nothing to worry about, you know.
Well, I was the most popular person. What was I dressed up as last year?
Remember the eye?
Oh, Mad Eye Moody. The number of people stopped me in the street. Want to take a picture? Yeah. It's astonishing.
Someone actually put on Facebook, you weren't their favourite person, but you were dressed as Mad Eye Moody, so they had to see. I don't quite like this bloke, but he was dressed as Mad Eye Moody, so I had a photo.
So I think we're sold on that one, aren't we?
Yeah,
Okay.
I think we can get the stormtroopers, that will just be like the icing on the cake.
Yeah.
Drop them an email, try and get a contact number and see what script is.
Yeah, and is there something in the universe with a sort of like, I seem to have a memory of a sort of like a nightclub and dancing girls and things like that.
Yeah, Jabba's Palace.
Right, I mean,
That's not very family friendly.
I'm thinking,
It's not.
I'm thinking,
There's also the canteen band.
Is that the one where they got funny heads?
Yeah.
I'm thinking of the dancers.
Someone downloads the wrong one.
Go prequels, the Dexter's Jack Boy.
Okay. I can say I'm going to have to watch these.
There's a nightclub in the second.
I'm
The
a
first one.
First one, part 4.
With Chewbacca there.
Can't think.
I think it is, yeah, right at the start.
There's one where
I'm getting some big buttons to wear in my hair.
Yeah. Right. So Mick, you've got the Stormtrooper
I'll
challenge.
get that,
Brilliant.
get the details, yeah, see if we can
Okay.
get them to the time.
Moving on. Have we got any questions about the other ones? got a question for the I can't say the
February.
wizards. The
The
wizards.
February one.
Yes, the February one. The wizards. And we've said we'll make scarves again in the colours
She said yes.
of the Barlick School of Witchcraft and Wizardry, and we're going to want to mobilise a small cottage industry. Silent Night were very good last year, but we wouldn't want to trespass on the hospitality.
The cutting it into
The
that.
slitting.
The cutting them. I
Which is the biggest
I
bit.
spoke to the person who did it last year. She says yes. I just need to run it past her boss.
Okay,
Her boss is
right.
sounds it.
Yeah. So is it slitting and squaring?
Yeah. I said, can you do what you did last year? And she said yes.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's
I
absolutely
have a lot.
excellent.
So
I have
that
a
just
little
leaves us.
circle.
That just leaves us souls to come and.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah.
And I think if we give more warning, because I was a little bit last minute, weren't it?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I've ordered the material. It's just,
Good.
I've paid for checking at the banking hall last week and it's not there. I don't know
Oh,
why. So
Okay.
I think
Well,
it's
as soon as we get
the next
Unity Bank, we'll be able to
No,
do
I
bank
know.
transfers. Okay. So skipping over Bank Square and ending up in July 2025, we got agreement to do what do we call it? Family Fun Day. So this is quite awkward because we haven't done it before, and it's you know, sort of an initial think about what elements we could put in there.
Where? Location, Town Square again?
No.
No, this is Family Fun Day down Victory Park.
Is it separate
Fi-
Kite Festival?
Well, instead of Kite
Like
Festival.
instead, right,
Last
Yeah.
couple of years,
Pardon?
no.
okay. Instead of, combining or instead of.
Instead of, because we've had 2 years where, for one reason or the weather's been, I mean, well, not this year, but last year it trucked it down. This year it was a nice enough day, but there weren't any wind. So the kite element is difficult,
They use the whole
and they use the whole of that area,
Yeah.
the 2 football pitches and the rest, which if we've got use of that for other
Yeah.
activities, we can put plenty on. Can I just ask the question up front? I mean, one of the popular elements when there used to be a gala was the beer tent. Do we want a beer tent?
He's the poor Catholic.
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Which may help fund.
It's a great fundraiser, that's for sure.
Well, we're thinking if we can send some staff on the food hygiene courses. The food at the last event, don't get me wrong, was great, very expensive.
We did that.
We had a couple of
Outside
vendors,
kitchens, so
Greek.
the likes of Salterford, a lot of their food and drink offerings are all in-house.
With barbecue.
Yeah, so that's what we're thinking. Blue Sky Events, Hayden House, but that's what we're thinking. If we could do the food and drink, and maybe one, because there used to be a tent with cake and tea and coffee and things. If we
Yeah.
could do those, the event could stand on its own 2 feet.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, on board with that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's what I'm thinking. If you can make it and it's like, reasonable cost, so it's then more inclusive to families who potentially don't have the same. It was £10 for kebab, should I
Yeah.
say.
So,
So if you've got 2 kids and mum and dad, that's 40 quid.
Just make it simple, hot dogs and quick burgers.
And vegetarian.
Vegetarian.
Vegetarian alternative.
Of course.
yeah, it's called salad.
You can have an apple.
It's the price.
Okay.
Sorry. It's called, salad and fried onions. salad button.
We know it's more work because people are going to have to do it, aren't they? However, like I say, if we get it right and the weather's good, it could be cracking.
Yeah.
couldn't it?
Even not, the weather wasn't fabulous this year, was it?
No, it wasn't.
I still heard from lots of people who said he went down for X amount of hours, took some food down for the kids, and they had the best time ever, and he didn't spend a penny.
No.
He said
It
it
was
was
water,
fantastic. It was surface also.
Yeah,
That was a massive hit.
Yeah.
So if we could take those aspects of it, so if we take the other aspects that were there, so all gold bits, and then it'd be great.
It's just having some covering in it, somewhere that
Yeah.
people can.
Well, yeah, I mean, you hope that it's going to be a decent
Yeah, you
day.
do, but you've got to.
Yeah.
Yeah, if we go third times a charm, it might actually be windy.
Yeah, probably.
You'll all be hanging on to
Well-
the seagulls.
Well, the people who we hire the big marquees off, I mean, they did Malham Show, which was summertime, and you know, like they've got a £100,000 insurance claim. You know, they're claiming because they lost the marquees.
What, is that what that picture where they've all gone over?
Yeah.
I wouldn't,
Yeah.
So that is that the organisers' fault then?
No.
No.
No. And yeah. What? I mean, I don't think there was any consequential loss.
Right, okay.
You know, the value of the marquees that got destroyed,
Wow.
£100,000. And what they said was, because they're all on soft ground, the pins, you know, the pegs that they drive in, were still in the ground, and it was the sort of upper structure that had broken.
Sheet.
Wow.
But I mean, the wind speeds, I mean, we must have been in a, you know, like a zone where the wind speeds were super fast, because there wasn't the same amount of damage, you know, within it. I don't know whether it was, you know, a band of 30 miles or whatever it was, but there wasn't the same damage above and below, north or south of that band. So we must have had an accelerated wind. Anyway, yeah, where it is. It's not going to happen again for a bit, is it? But I mean, you know, thinking back to the gala, and you know, it's a fun day. It's not a gala. There used to be quite a lot of marquees. So you know, you had your produce tent. I don't know that's what they called it.
Yeah, well, like you still on the convention.
Yeah. I'm not suggesting that we do that, but I mean, I think we as best we can, we want to avoid having a load of infrastructure,
Yeah.
because it's quite expensive. And this is going to tell the tale about the last Festival of Flight that we did, where we started off with hot air balloons, and we found that if it was too windy, they couldn't fly. So people said, well, no hot air balloons. So we introduced kites, and made it a Festival of Flight, so we were hedging as bets. You know, wind, no wind, we had some. And it got to the last one, and as a town council, we'd spent 16,000 on all the infrastructure, and it heaved it down, literally rained off all the weekend, and I sat down there during the day, just, you know, sort of looking after these empty marquees and stage and all that sort of stuff. So I don't want to get into that sort of territory where we've got a big infrastructure bill, and then we find out it's a rubbish day. So if we can, you know, keep it to, you know, more or less what we've got, rather than going down
I
that
think if it got in early when we went to like football, rugby, foot cricket, schools and all the rest of it, because that's what me, I know it's fun with day. A gala's like made up into all your local organisations with games and whatever else it's going on each day. But they run their own structures, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Elements that I mean, Callum mentioned, you know, sort of taking the popular stuff from the Kite Festival.
Teddy bear parachuting.
Pardon?
Teddy bear parachuting.
Is that popular?
People like all day.
We were thinking giant obstacle blow up things. Sam went to something else, she's been away and she said it for her and her girls who are like 9 and 13. She said they like, they'd just stopped on it, they were going.
It's great, but that's someone else that's susceptible to wind, isn't it?
Well, the people that we had at the Kite Festival, they had, you know, various blow-ups.
Right.
And I mean, I checked the anchoring out, and you know, they did the business.
They were really professional.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it can be done, but obviously, you know, it is a high risk thing in terms of the wind. But yeah, the insurance things, you can't like, there's exclusion clauses for like it's a knockout stuff. So the obstacle course into it's a knockout type of thing, is it?
No, it's just like, I don't know. I don't know, I'm looking for it.
All right. Yeah.
Can we have an organising committee?
A what?
An organising committee.
An organising committee.
That sounds an awful lot like a gala committee.
I think this is it. I think
Alright.
this is it.
That's good, alright.
If there's anybody who wants to get hands on, you know, we can do that as a working group, can't we?
That's what I meant.
Yeah.
Let's have a zip wire, how hard can it be?
Eh?
Let's have a zip wire, how hard can it be?
What we have had in the past for free is army recruitment climbing wall.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, I mean, RAF might do one with a fly-by wire. So, it's getting too much like
They were up at community
They
dinner.
were at the community, they don't have a climbing wall anymore.
I don't know.
No, the ACF, but Lancashire ACF don't have a climbing wall anymore, getting the insurance and it's certified and stuff, it was just one of the coffee briefs, so they
Well,
Contemporaries or something like that. Like there's manufacturing there, don't they?
I don't know.
The manufacturing holes, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I'm just thinking, if we look at organisations that have, you know, sort of stuff that they use to entice people, you know, army recruitment may have something else going on.
Maybe in the name.
Fire and rescue, you know, they could put something on. Police would probably come, you know, you can switch the sirens on a police car.
Yeah, they know about a video.
They look very popular. They're very popular. Kids come along.
That's the problem.
To be fair, they were at Colne Fun Day, I went last year, it was brilliant weather, and they had like a van, a car, and a bike at the police, and they went over and they were letting kids put hats on, sit in the car,
Yeah.
in their element, absolutely in their element. Firefighters were there as well, same deal.
We had
Usually it's easy to get out.
we had an event where I think they were challenging people to run, and they had the speed gun who could run the fastest down a little bit. But I mean, these are people who will come for free.
Yeah.
You pack it out with that, don't you?
Something, yeah.
We were talking about obsession, but David didn't like it.
No, I didn't like it. I think it's a nightmare.
Road management's hard work, isn't it?
I think we've got enough on them. Switch on them. We're doing a short circuit.
We have some pedal powered floats to go around the park.
You can get this train, right?
Train.
This is what I do, like in bed in the morning, it's where I'm going, pushing to get to work. And when we were doing the athletically think, I would think it'd be a right good idea.
Yeah, we did look at it.
Yeah, to go from like the Greyhound up, because it would be safe, because it was road legal.
It was
It'd be
a lot of
nice
money
to go,
though,
yeah,
weren't
but
it?
it'd be nice to go around the park, wouldn't it? It would get less.
Tom's idea is quite a good one.
But what?
You could actually have floats based on bikes.
Yeah.
So, people could create a character or a creature.
There's a TV show in the Netherlands where they have like tandem bikes and they've got to go over an obstacle course.
So I think I've seen it.
Yeah.
A bit like soapbox, but not soapbox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah.
You just need to write all these down. I mean,
I'm just packing it in.
yeah, I mean, just throw ideas out.
Pedal-powered floats wouldn't require the same amount of risk assessments that a traditional gala thing would.
Keep them in the park, yeah.
Exactly.
Like I say, there's a path all the way around, you can go around.
Just do circuit after circuit. Yeah.
Or, you could have
Competition.
a circuit within the grassed area.
Oh, it's a pedal on grass.
Pardon?
Oh, it's a pedal on grass.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's like before off, I guess, but
Yeah.
Come on, I said ideas, and you'll shut up then.
They'll need to go away and do some research.
Do we want to do live music?
I think then you're bringing more cost in, aren't you? Because you then you're into sound engineers, aren't you? And you won't do anything on a simple basis. I'm blaming you for cost.
Well, on top of...
Live music's one of those things where
I did
if it's not good, it really doesn't look good.
No.
Yeah.
And it's something you listen to rather than in the background, isn't it? It's you to focus on it rather than...
in terms of actually doing it, you need to have the crew to do it and a generator, because
I know I can get a generator. Quiet, super quiet one.
yeah, as long as we don't clash with...
No, we won't have to check.
Right, okay.
Are we calling it a gala or a fun day?
I think fun day.
because you tag Gala onto it, I think, like just subtract those sorts onto it would work, but you maybe don't want.
Yeah, glass of precision.
Yeah.
Concord, that's a good day, I suppose.
Yeah.
I'm more excited about stormtroopers.
Right, it's next July, but I think we need to get us ducks in a row. Duck race.
I've got it. Do geese instead of ducks.
One time a year.
When's the next GP meeting?
December.
What's it? Just, yeah, I just, I don't know where my head was in March or something like that.
If the pedal floats have legs, we'd want to get the idea out so people can start making
No, that's right. We'll do
Fairground.
some work.
Do we want a fairground?
I don't know if that just
If we think of anything, should we just email you?
Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
better?
Yeah. And like links and stuff.
Under the fairground, if football pitch, are they going to be in use?
No, July.
So it's an option, I know what you mean in terms of bit of tracks, but if it's in that bit,
And then they're paying to
stay
come.
there. And it's a little bit of income from ground rent, isn't it?
Well, it should be more than a little bit.
Well, I mean, in terms of the ground scheme of things, you won't pay for it all.
Yeah, but they seem to have gone off coming in July, don't they?
Because they're somewhere else, and then they were coming, and then we agreed, and then they're not coming. So.
Yeah. Anyway,
You can ask.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Small human
Right.
needs put into bed.
So, ideas on an envelope, a backward postcard, sorry.
Just dirty napping.
Yes.
No.
Are we,
Just quickly, just dates for switch on.
16th of November.
Thank you. Ice event, please.
The last Saturday in January. The 25th, maybe?
25th, yeah.
Is it?
25th.
Thank you.
are you still away 16th of November?
No, I'm back. Not back on the 13th, I think.
I go on 17th. Have I told you?
Day after switch on.
5 o'clock in the morning.
Oh, great. Well, you'll be able to do an overnighter then.
Yeah.
Although, I think last year we got finished for, was it 9 o'clock?
Yeah.
So,
Throwing everything at it. And recruiting Sam's husband as well.
yeah, sorry, I was going to look at the events. Right, Christmas is 14th and 15th of December. I know Christmas isn't 14th and 15th of December. The Christmas event is 14th and 15th. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. Are there any other event-related activities that people want to flag up? No? In that case, we have no further business.
I have a small human to spare.
Yeah. Can I thank everybody very much for coming along and declare the meeting closed? Thank you. Oh, hang on a minute, sorry. I'll just reopen it a little bit. Are there any questions on the chat?
Oh, yeah. It was on the No, nothing.
No?
You're
Okay, right. Very good. Thank you.
I'm